That was crisp today. Jesus.
Finally.
Oof. I know. It's so good. It's such a great sound, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Hello, one more time. Yeah. Goodness.
Period. Oh, goodness gracious. Hello, willkommen, the cup. I think that's welcome in German. I'm gonna hope and pray. Tessa, let me know. Anyway, hi. Welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan, where face say something gay. And thanks to my boyfriend, I have coffee. Not sponsored by Dutch Bros, but I would happily be sponsored by Dutch Bros. Thank
that
you.
Looks like milk straight up.
So it's actually a white coffee latte. So that is why
it
does straight up look like I'm drinking milk with ice.
Yeah.
But it's white coffee, so it's literally brewed and it's white instead of like a typical brown. But I'm having a nice coconut protein white coffee latte this morning because that's the energy of the day.
Work. And bonjour, everyone. I am Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. I, courtesy of myself, walking to my own refrigerator to get my own drink, I got water. So no one brought me anything. Yay. But it's delicious, it's refreshing, and hydration is important. So drink your water, everyone. Period.
And you know what else is refreshing, Lana?
Yes.
A cup mug.
I mean, stealing my thunder. Yay. But cup mugs
the
are
most
very
refreshing part of this podcast
is the cup mug. Period. And you know what? You should get your cup mugs, period, at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship domestically here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And we do ship internationally, globally. So there are no excuses. Get your cup mug or any of our cup merch. Check out the Etsy shop. We got beautiful things there. Do it. Do it. Do it now. Thank you.
And hello. Hola. I am Eduardo, the Mexican representative of this podcast. I'm here to talk a lot of shit today. I don't think I'm getting hit, but I am talking a lot of shit today. I finished my coffee. I'm moving on to just some water because I don't have anything else. So for real. But yeah, I'm talking a lot of shit today. I'm tired. I am upset.
We had such high hopes for this season.
It could have been so good. And it's just letting me down over and over and over again.
Week after week after week.
I'm happy to say that we are still living in Testicles DragRace, which is why it is mediocre.
The writing is on the wall already, and I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to know what I know was going to happen at the end in week 4, 5. It's week 5, and I already know how this is going to end up, and I hate that. I want to be on pins and needles throughout the whole season and be like, oh, everybody has a chance. No, they don't. We know this, and we can almost predict the boot order, which is about to happen. We can almost predict the boot order. This is just, I hate it here. I'm just gonna say it. Y'all drug me into this world only for me to hate it here. I hate it here.
Hey,
I hate it here.
There have been a lot of positive, really great seasons of Drag Race that we have watched.
I hate it here.
No, you don't.
Because I hate it here.
Well,
because
yes.
Here's why I hate it here. I'm talking all drag race, RuPaul. I'm talking all of it. I hate it here because it's so many good things that can come out of this show. It is so much good that can come from this show. And it's so much good that I've watched and I've enjoyed. But it's so much foolery that can come from this show as well. And I hate my emotions being played with. I like ignorant bliss. I like blissful ignorance where I'm like, la di da, I don't know this world, and I'm just very happy not knowing this world. But now that I know the world and I'm in the world and I see the tomfoolery that can come from this world, I hate it here because now I can't be jaded. Well, now I'm just jaded. Now I'm only jaded. I used to be blissful ignorant, like, oh, they wear pretty clothes and they tramp walk on the runway and look so beautiful and gorgeous, and I love it. Now I know the evil side of, of RuPaul's Drag Race, and I'm annoyed because it's some really good people. There's some really great, talented people, and they're getting screwed over. And every franchise screws somebody who is super talented over. And I hate the dark side of Drag Race. But I'm still watching it. But I'm still
Well,
watching
yes.
it because I'm a glutton for punishment. So here we are.
I also love that you just unintentionally made one of the most iconic Drag Race references of all time, Lana. And I'm very proud of you for that.
What? Oh,
The
wow.
tomfoolery.
Oh.
Well, the tomfoolery, but also I'm a glutton for punishment.
Also, yeah. I forgot about that. But yeah, the tomfoolery is immediately what came to mind.
Period. But okay.
Yes. But we're just gonna dive into this episode because
the sooner we talk about it, the sooner we can get this done. Because man.
Before we go on, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time, giving you almost all things drag, and that does still unfortunately mean global. We're trying to find the silver lining, and currently the silver lining is Testicle and Millennia and Gala and Vanity and Soa,
and
yes,
Queen.
of course, and Queen, yes, of course.
That's about it.
Pythia,
of course.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's still so much, and I think Tessa said it on her Instagram. Just like you'll miss out on such good drag if you don't watch the show, because it's really some good drag still on the show. Even if you're mad at how the outcomes are happening, you can't just stop watching it because it's still good, talented queens on this show. So
yeah,
we're still going to go and support these amazing queens who worked super hard to be on the show. Even if we don't agree with how the outcomes and how it's happening, you still want to support the amazing queens that are still on the show. So let's continue to do that. Yeah. I just complained for a good 3 minutes about it, but I'm still going to watch it.
It's because we're fans. It's because we give a fuck about these queens, and we give a fuck about Drag Race, even though sometimes Drag Race doesn't give a fuck about us. But anyway, check the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, and our Patreon for exclusive content and early access. Anyway.
Including our look over here.
That part. Yes, God. Yes.
We don't want to brush past. We're not going to give y'all no crap content, even though we're upset. We're going to give you our best because that's what we're here to do. So,
exactly.
Period.
And I want to start off the bat with something that I noticed. Literally, the first thing my boyfriend said when he walked in today was about this exact topic. And it was how weird the editing and specifically the music was in this episode. And I did some sleuthing and I saw some things on Twitter. I don't remember exactly who it was that talked about it, but thank you for talking about it. It sounds like it might have been Jack Fed. It sounds like the editing team for this season of Global, none of them have ever edited a Drag Race season before. And suddenly everything makes sense.
Yes.
Every single part of this season makes sense as far as the editing is concerned.
Yeah.
I will say this episode was the longest episode so far this season.
Yeah. And you could tell.
So,
because we could finally get to actually see the looks on the runway for longer
some
than
of them.
5 seconds.
Some of them,
Yeah, some of them.
because
Thankfully, we have photos.
it was a couple of them. I was like, why are their runways so super short and then everybody else is super long?
It's weird.
And it's very weird. Very
This
weird.
is gonna be a problem every
It
single
is-
episode.
Yeah, I think so. I was like, so are y'all editing it to tell us who your favorites are? Is that what we're doing? Because
Yes.
that's what it looks like.
Basically.
But
Pretty much. But yeah,
well,
we come back into the work. We come back into the workroom, and it's the kind of aftermath of, unfortunately, Miranda's elimination. Still depressed, still sad,
Yes.
still upset.
Mhm.
I wasn't here last week, and I didn't.
I was gonna say, Lana, do you want to take a moment to talk about Miranda?
I want to take a quick moment just to talk about this episode in general, because I went back and watched it. I watched it actually today because I didn't watch it last week. I watched it both episodes back to back, and this girl group episode and the winner of this girl group episode. I was like, say what now? Say what now? Okay, y'all. Rue, look, listen, darling, diva, angel, honey, mama. I need you to cut your favorites when they deserve to be cut. I need you to stop acting like these favorites of yours are actually doing good in this competition. Because Alyssa Edwards was a hot mess to me.
A hot boo-boo mess.
Hot mess. And I was like, what do you mean? What?
Safe?
What? Like, that was bottom tier if I've ever seen bottom tier. Like, come on now. And the way she choreographed it for the group made it even worse. Like, they all looked a mess because she made them look a mess. Like, she should have been at the bottom for choreographing that like that anyway. Like, y'all.
And Vanity called it out this episode.
Yes,
at the very
she
beginning.
really did. And I was like,
Thank you, Vanity.
Thank you,
Thank
Vanity.
you, Vanity.
Because Vanity shouldn't have been in the bottom. I don't think that bottom was. Come on.
Unfortunately, I love Miranda dearly, but I think the bottom should have been Alyssa and Miranda.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It should have been. And I was just like, stop it. Y'all not going to convince me that that was good. You're not going to convince me that was safe. You're not going to convince me that they should have been like, no, absolutely not.
Lana's like, I have to pick up my microphone to say this because I am angry.
You can't convince me. I know good girl groups when I see good girl groups, and we've seen.
And this was not one of them.
And this was not one of them. So I'm very upset, and I'm very annoyed. And Rue needs to be real, and she needs to stop pumping up this woman's head.
I think it's time for Rue to retire. I'm gonna be real honest. I think it's time for Rue to retire. Like, you can tell. I mean, and we've alluded to it, and the internet is talking about it. At this point, one of Alyssa, Kitty, or Queen is winning this season.
Yeah.
My hopes and prayers are that it's Queen Kong.
Probably won't be.
Because as of this current moment, she is the one that deserves it the most out of the three of them.
Absolutely.
Yes. And
because
also,
I have actually agreed.
This.
I've agreed with almost every placement she's had so far this season. So,
and we've talked about this outside of the podcast, but like, Queen represents so much more to her people and to the Aboriginal people and all like people that just haven't really been shown on TV. So if one of these queens that like are getting this kind of treatment is gonna win, I do hope that it's Queen, because also I agree, Queen has been doing the best out of this group that has been bunched up as like the Rue girls that have been judged by Rue before. And like, I think she's been doing great so far, and I agree with most of her placements. So if one of them is gonna win, I hope it's Queen.
And I didn't agree with Kitty winning. It's just saying, okay, I'll put that out there.
Who did you think should have won last week? I'm curious. Because we were a little bit all over the board with our...
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
we had a general consensus of two different people, I think. But
yeah.
Who was y'all's consensus of the people?
The consensus amongst the group was Nilenia.
Mm-hmm.
My winner was Gala.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think
Yeah, those were the top two.
those,
Yeah.
and then those make sense. Those make sense. I would agree with those two. I think for me, I think the winner probably should have been I can't say her name.
Nilenia.
Nilenia. I think Nilenia, and I think Gala. I mean, come on. They just perform better than everybody else, and I just thought they were really good. But I think Nilenia should have won. To me,
Yeah.
and I just didn't think Kitty was that great, and then I didn't think her runway was that great either. So, like, to be like, oh, well, at least a little bit of the runway, I didn't think that either. But that's my thoughts. We move back to the workroom.
We do move. We go into the workroom the next day. RuPaul walks in, and I need to pull this reaction image from Tessa because Tessa's face when RuPaul walks in is she's just like, I'm like, girl, queen of facial expressions, queen of reaction. I love it.
I mean, it was funny when they were just going in and talking about everything that happened and Nilenia.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Thank you so much.
And so it was like, this is how you feel. Your feelings are valid. Da 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 da. And Queen was like, you. That's how you felt in that moment. We understand it. We get it. And
if I sounded angry, it's because I was.
Because I was, but I understand your feelings too. And
I'm sorry.
Right. And Vanity, of course, calling out Alyssa, which I was like, work. And then Tessa was like, enough of this kumbaya. Oh, whoa. Like she couldn't even
I do love that it was
the sentence.
Well, it was Alyssa was saying, you know, girls, being here
in
this competition for me, it just means I'm like, thank God for that. Thank you, Jesus.
We don't need all of that.
I did not need all that. Yeah.
We didn't need that from you today. Thank you.
No. But we do get a mini challenge, and it's the reading challenge.
Because reading is what? Fundamental.
Apparently not fundamental across the world.
Apparently just
fun.
The dyslexia is just a problem. Like
reading is demental. Reading is demental, apparently, across the globes.
Reading is adequate across the world.
Reading is something we do from time to time.
I thought there were some good.
Some were good.
Good reads. I thought there were some good reads,
and some were.
Soa had my favorite read. White woman, Alyssa Edwards. Do not reveal yourself. I loved it. I loved
iconic.
I love Soa so much.
Reveal yourself.
Do not.
My God, it was so good.
Stay behind the screen. We don't want it.
We don't want it. We don't want to see it.
And just the way that she called her white woman. Just, oh my God, it was so good.
So funny. I mean, and here's who else was good for me?
I really liked Pythia. When Pythia was like, Alyssa Edwards, this is what happens without universal health care. And Alyssa clapping back and be like, well, if this is what free health care looks like, baby, then I don't want it. That was good. What else was there? There were a lot of Tessa Testicle reads.
Yes.
Fine. Tessa was, I love Tessa dearly. Tessa was fine.
It's fine.
I will say, what?
Gala really went for it.
You are really good you're a really good actress. You're good at playing the victim role. I was like,
oh.
Didn't she win the reading challenge on Mexico?
Yeah, but the reading challenge in Mexico one was not particularly good.
It was bad.
Yeah. It was pretty bad.
I'll say it was bad. I will say I think my favorite was actually the person that won, which was Kitty. I think Kitty was really, 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 really funny.
She was very poignant. She gave that British humor of
Alyssa Edwards, the man. Full stop.
Full stop.
It was like
fuck me. Full stop.
Full stop.
Period. It's like,
so good.
Period. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
I thought she
Yeah.
really. What? Oh, her other one. I don't remember what her other one was, but it was a really funny read. I
Yeah,
wasn't too
overall,
mad at
she
Kitty
had
winning.
good
Yeah,
I
they were
wasn't too
good.
mad at Kitty winning. So,
Something. Oh, who called Kong a big bag?
Alyssa. When Alyssa
Alyssa.
said "big backed water buffalo,"
Yes, I was like,
I will say the group I was watching with, we were all of us were very slightly inebriated, and we all go, "Was that racist?"
no.
It was just on that line.
It
where
wasn't
was,
racist. It wasn't
it was
racist.
just
It was fat shaming. It wasn't racist.
well, yeah.
Because
Yeah, it was like on that verge of like,
I was
is this
uncomfortable.
mean instead
It-
of reading?
It was mean, yes. It was fat shaming, yes. But it wasn't racist, no. Because we they don't usually call my people water buffaloes. Now, if she could have called her a big bag monkey, I would have been like, look here, look here, look here.
I also think Queen took it in stride because obviously they do have a really good rapport. So like,
Right.
if Queen's not offended by it, then okay,
No, yeah,
whatever. But yes, Kitty wins. Good for Kitty. Woo, love it.
it was a very mediocre library. The global library was very mediocre. I wouldn't go back to that. I wouldn't go back to that library. It wasn't my favorite.
We had worse.
It didn't have all the
We've
bells
had
and
much
whistles.
worse.
Oh, we've
this
had
year.
worse. We look. See, I like to equate the Drag Race library as like real life libraries. Like if I'd like to go to that library because I enjoy going to the library every now and then. And if the library is a beautiful library with lots of amenities and lots of great books I can choose from and good, lots of stuff, computer rooms and all kind of a coffee shop. It's beautiful. It's lovely. I want to go back. Now, I've seen some reading challenges where it's like, oh, this is the best reading challenge ever. This was good. This one was, I'll go if I have to. I have to do some work real quick. And this
all
is
the
the
other
closest
libraries
library.
are closed.
Right. And this is the one that's open, that stays open later. And I need to get some work done. So I'll go.
Right.
And then there's those like the ones from Mexico last season. Like, I'm like, I will never go back to that library ever again. It's ghetto. It's trash. And the people were loud in there. I couldn't get any work done.
It's burning down.
It was burnt. It's kids running around. It was not good. Yeah.
The books are just in horrible shape.
Horrible shape. The computers never work. The printer doesn't work. I can't print off my stuff.
Black mold going up over the walls, just like
it's people banging on the doors. I don't know. I don't like it.
The police just screaming at the top of their lungs.
I think the reading challenge from Philippines last season was not good either. I wouldn't go back to that one either. I'm like, so it is some reading challenge. I'm like, yeah, no.
But yes. So Kitty wins. She gets $2,500. Good for her. And we find out that the maxi challenge for this week is an acting challenge. We are doing Boobie Movie Shequels. And my favorite part of watching this episode was just coming up with other Boobie Shequel titles for other movies with my friends. My personal favorites included my personal favorites were Ferris Boobie's Day Off, Home Boobie, like Home Alone, and what was the other really, really good one? I was a little wine drunk, so there were a lot of.
I have some. I have one.
Go for it.
Before Christmas.
Ooh, Love and Boobies. Off of Love and Basketball. Period.
You did that.
Period.
You did that. Yeah.
Last Boobie.
Last holiday.
Yep.
Friday After Boobie.
You've got Boobie.
You got boobies. Yeah, I like it.
So many.
When Boobie Met Sally. That was my favorite. And the sequel, When Harry Met Boobie.
The Devil Wears Boobies.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Anyway, we can't keep doing this.
I
We're
can
gonna
do
be here
this all day.
We will be
We
here
could
all
do
day.
this all
but,
day.
The teams are randomly chosen teams randomly by picking a Boobie doll randomly.
If it
For
truly
the
is
audio
random, the
listeners,
world
there
is
were a
against
lot-
us.
There were a lot of quotation marks for our audio listeners.
The way they cut this made me go quotation marks, random. No.
Because
The
of
way-
course, all of the girls that have been judged by RuPaul before ended up in the same group.
Shocker. This is shocking. I am shocked. Wow.
I am.
Who would have expected this?
Shooketh.
I can't believe out of all the Barbie doll or Boobie dolls in the box that would have happened. Like, I'm floored. Gag me if you hold on. My Devon pretends to be shocked.
Fully. That's why I said if this was truly random, the world is against us.
Ugh, this is so. Ugh, it just feels gross to
But
me.
they get their Boobie Shequel titles. They go to do their thing. I will say immediately my favorite group was Pythia, Nalenia, and Soa, because I'm just like, oh, this group is so fun.
Yeah.
Like I just like I
They're
wouldn't have
just
put all three of
fun.
these queens together, but I really like them together.
Mm-hmm.
I also thought the first group was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they had a little bit of tension when choosing weird beauty, I still thought that even then they still had a lot of like good chemistry there.
Yeah, I felt like that even like you said, the tension wasn't really like tension. It was just like we both want the same part, so how do we fix it? And they came up with a
Right.
very cute resolution to finish it, and it was like, okay, it is what it is. I like them. I like Tessa,
Yeah.
Gala, Vanity, and Eva. I thought they were good.
Yeah.
Good crew.
Definitely. So they prep. We go into filming the Shequels with Michelle and Jamal. I didn't need Jamal there. I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. Like I didn't.
He didn't add much.
I didn't need either one of them there. I'm gonna be honest. But we could have had
Someone had
somebody
to
else.
direct it.
We needed.
Yes.
I would have rather them bring in somebody.
Honestly, I would have rather than brought in Carson Kressley.
That would have been fun.
Because Carson isn't a bad director, honestly.
But Michelle isn't either.
Michelle isn't bad, but
yeah.
This whole thing was so weird because I thought Vanity was doing a really good job, and they're like, and then Michelle started giving her very specific things to do, and I think it did ultimately aid the scene very well. She was telling Tessa to do different things, and I was like, what Tessa's doing is great. I don't know what you're talking about.
I was super confused about that critique that she was giving, because most of the time when it comes to these acting challenge, what you ask for is for a lot of energy. So Tessa was giving me like the right amount of energy that was needed for this kind of stupid, like not serious acting challenge.
Right.
Especially with like a Boobie challenge. Like, of course it's gonna be stupid. It's gonna be dumb. Like, you have to just take that and just run with it. And so getting that critique of like, oh, you have to be a little bit smaller, for me was like weird. For me, like, why?
Why do you want? Like, I was like, she's not giving too much, like more than what she needs to give. She's a mad scientist. Let her be mad. Let her be crazy and wild and wacky. That's what the role calls for. She was like, you don't start at 10, bring it down to 5. I was like, okay, I get layers, but like, let her start at 10, let her bring it down to 5 when she gets to that point of, oh, I want to, how do I fix my, like, she could have been like, I'm the mad scientist, My parents never let me have Boobie dolls when I was a kid, but look at me now. Like, it could have still had the ebb and flow and the layers, but I think Michelle was just stifling people a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I didn't really have any other issues with the recording of any other ones. I do love that Pythia and Soa had to explain to Nalenia what motorboating was.
That was really funny.
Are those my 3 favorites this season? Maybe.
That's very
Definitely 3
possible.
of. Yeah.
I love them
Like,
a lot before, but this episode really just made me love them more.
Mhm.
Yeah. Definitely. And then we do get a reprise of
Oh my god. I get horrible flashbacks to that. Oh my god.
And I love that Alyssa was playing the same fucking character.
With an accent this time. And not a good one at that. Not a good one.
I do love when Michelle was like, "Oh, you're doing an accent." She was like, "I don't know." Girl.
She was trying something different. I'll give her that. Like with the voice. Not with the character, but with the voice.
I don't know. I thought that was just when they went and did the flashback, I was like, oh, that meant nothing to me, but okay. Although I was very happy to see flashbacks because we saw Gala's flashback and I was like, oh, that's cute. I remember that.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember
from when she bombed her acting
her
challenge
acting challenge.
on,
Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, so I was like, oh, I remember watching that. Ooh, yeah, that wasn't good for Gala, but this is better. Love it.
It was a
And
lot
then-
better.
It was a
Like,
lot better.
I appreciate that
lot
Gala
better.
chose to do something where she had to be ugly and had to be silly and dumb
Mhm.
so that
Mhm.
she was able to show something, a different side of herself.
And even in that, being ugly and weird and dumb and all that crazy funny stuff, she was still able to be Gala because it was moments where she was like, I'm doing the weird, but I can also still be sexy. So I love that she was able to do what she does, but still show that she has range and can do other things. And so that was fun for me. And I loved seeing that in all of the characters. Because, like, honestly, I feel like in each group, everybody did well. And I guess we'll talk about it when we get to it. But
Yeah.
it was interesting to see. But then we go after the recording is over and they go back into the workroom the next day. And we do have our Emmy moment, one quick Emmy moment where
Yes.
Eva goes and asks Pythia about how she saw that Justin Trudeau was on an episode of Canada's Drag Race and was like the politics in Canada. How is drag? How's the drag scene in your country? And Pythia was like, well, for me, she said, I feel like we're very diverse, but it's still pockets of places. And she's like, for me, my parents, when I got on, when I started talking about how Greece wasn't very, she said some things about Greece that her parents didn't agree with. And they were like, we brought you to this country. We gave you all of these things. We gave you everything. And this is how you repay us talking about our country, our home place, and And they didn't agree with it. And they didn't understand what she did and what, being a drag queen was about. And then when she got on Drag Race Canada, her season, they didn't know. They had no idea she did the show. And when they watched the show, her mother watched the show and called her. They had a big falling out about it after. And then her mom called her later after watching the show and was like, full sobs, I understand what you do. I appreciate you. I support you. I get it. Which made Pythia feel so seen and so loved. And that was so beautiful. She's like, my mom is my biggest supporter now. And and it was lovely. And then we had Gala talking about how some places in Mexico is very fun, it's open, you can be who you want to be, but it's some states that it's still scary. People still kill people for just being who they want to be. And so it's just like you have to watch where you are, apparently, in certain places where you want to be yourself. And I was like, ooh, relatable. So, and then Eva was talking about hers. It was a good moment between the three of them actually talking about how it is in their home countries of being the drag race. And they're like, drag is drag, and we're going to be here. And it's a beautiful concept if people will just take the time to understand it and not be afraid of it. And it was a beautiful Emmy moment. I appreciated it between the three of them. That conversation. We've had this conversation on other franchises, especially All Stars or versus the world where it's different people from different countries coming together to to talk about, drag in their own countries and da da da. We've heard some horrific stories, and then we've heard some really, really good stories. So I love that we're getting all of these stories out into the airways, into the ears of people to hear and understand that drag is not scary. Nothing about drag is scary. They're not harming your children.
Unless it's scary drag.
Unless it's scary drag. It's levels of drag. Some of them are not for children. Some drag is not for children. And they let you know this is not for kids. But the drag stars who are just entertaining, who's going to read children's stories, who's just having a good time, it's not scary. It's not bad. And we have so many other things to worry about. We had a school shooting here just recently. Another one recently. And it wasn't a drag queen who did it. It wasn't anybody in the LGBTQ community who did it. But we ain't scared of them. But we're not going to say guns are the problem. But we're scared of drag queens. Let's cut that out. I'm sorry, I jumped on a soapbox I didn't think I was gonna go. But
hey, I'm not. I was gonna let you just do it, and I support you.
I'm sorry, but we just need to stop with the fake paranoia and the fake outrage and the fake what's right and who's wrong, and just let people live their life. And you raise your children to how you raise your children, and let other people raise their children how they raise their children. If you don't want your children to see drag queens, don't let them go see drag queens. Nobody forcing you to let them go see drag queens. You don't have to do it because they're there. Just because, and they're going to be there. Let them exist and let them live their lives. Period. You live your life, let other people live their lives. And that's all I'll say about it.
Period.
But then,
and on that note,
we go right into it, baby.
Hold up.
Yes. Right. What is going on here?
Much better.
There you go.
Actually, hold on. We're gonna do some live changing.
Technical difficulties.
We'll just do it again. We'll do it again.
There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, we'll do it again.
Yeah. Hey.
With the most extra special guest judge, Carson Kressley.
Wow. I am so shocked. I haven't seen Carson on Drag Race ever.
I don't think I've ever seen him before.
I'm so surprised to see Carson Kressley on Drag Race.
Who would have thought? We've been wanting this for years.
And finally he's appeared.
Oh my God. I'm so excited for Carson Kressley.
Ru looks
he
good.
Wasn't that bad.
No, he wasn't bad.
No, he wasn't.
Carson is never that bad. I'm gonna be honest. Carson is never that bad.
Did they show who next week's guest judge is?
No.
Okay.
We don't know.
Well, that's.
It's Ross Matthews
from the USA
again.
It's someone from the USA again. I'm gonna be so annoyed.
It will be.
I hope it's Diane Brill. When are we getting Diane Brill?
I would love to get Diane Brill. Like
she's confirmed to be on.
Maybe it's that. Maybe next week's is Diane Brill.
I hope it's Diane Brill. Anyway, Ru looks great.
Ru looks great.
Yeah. I love this cape.
I love the cape.
Oh, the cape was everything to me.
Michelle looks basic. While she was calling somebody else basic, I was like, "Ooh, not the pot."
Jamal, I feel like we're all channeling Jamal today with our black and yellow.
Black and yellow, black and yellow. Hey.
Anyway, yeah, that's all.
That's it.
All right, let's talk about our skit situations, starting with Frank and Boobie.
Okay, this ended pretty well for me. I think we talked about this before we started the recording. I feel like this team had really high highs, but also it kind of plateaued at some point, and it didn't grow as much as I wanted it to grow. But I still think 3 out of the 4 queens that were in this group did really well. I think Tessa did really well. I think Vanity did really well. I think Gala did really well. I think that Eva was just a victim of circumstance because in this scenario, I think just her character wasn't just that funny. I don't think this character would have made me laugh even if someone else did it. And so I think Eva was just not gonna do great no matter what for me because just this character just isn't my favorite character. But I think Gala surprised me. Normally, this isn't of Gala's like alley, and she did pretty well. I think Tessa was the best one out of this group, maybe, possibly. But I think Vanity, with her voice acting, really did something really interesting and really fun as well. So yeah, I think this team was really good.
I do. I enjoyed this one. I like this one. I laughed a lot during this one. Was Eva a little, a little bit, yeah. But like you said, I think I agree with you, Eduardo. I think the role itself wouldn't have been funny regardless because it's not a funny role. And I'm trying to sit here and think about how you could play that. I mean, you could be funny. I don't know. Being a Karen ain't funny, and sometimes being a Karen is triggering to people. So I'm like, I don't want to do that. But I don't know. I like her. I like Eva. I think she did the best she could with what she had. But by far, Tessa, Vanity, and Gala blew this one away. I think they were so funny. I enjoyed each character and the different characteristics that they played. I thought Tessa was funny and was convincing as a mad scientist. And for me, I thought Vanity ate this one up. I thought being the monster, giving the different voices, being the but a Barbie is kind of, I like it. And then I thought Gala was so funny in this and weird, but also very Gala, giving us the moments of sexy, but weird. I liked it. I thought this was funny to me. I thought this was, for me, I laughed the most during this one. I thought it was funnier than everybody else.
Yeah, I thought this group overall was good. The two standouts for me were definitely Vanity and Tessa. I was actually really, really proud of Tessa because one of the challenges she was in the bottom on, and I would probably say the only challenge I think deservedly she was in the bottom on Germany season 1, was this kind of acting skit challenge. And so I think I was really happy to see her improvement in that regard. And also remembering that Vanity didn't do well in her acting challenge either. I was happy to see that both of them really, really did well. I thought they were both really good. I thought Vanity took direction very, very well. And overall they were good. Gala, I think, was fine. I wasn't too mad at Gala's performance. I think she could have gone a little bit weirder and a bit uglier, but I think overall, she did really, really good. Eva, unfortunately, I just think she was the weakest. I just think she didn't bring as much to the skit as she could have. And I think overall she was probably my least favorite across the board, unfortunately. Which I love Eva, and it upsets me, but yeah. Let's talk about Boobies of the Caribbean: The Search for Buried Boobie.
Jesus Christ.
Booty, not booby.
No, it's Boobie.
No, it's Search
It
for the
should have
Buried
been
Booty.
I know it is. I'm saying
it should have been Boobie.
It should have been Boobie.
Anyways, I think this group was the most consistent overall. I think all of them were funny. I don't think they were the funniest, but I think overall they were the most consistently. They were all funny. They all had good chemistry with each other. I thought Melania's accent really helped her with this character to just sound even dumber and just really like bring that character that she wanted to play to reality. I think Pythia is a great actress no matter what she plays. So this was really funny for me. Stoa also was really funny for me. I think all of them overall did a pretty good job. And I think with the consistency of this group, I think maybe this might have been my winning group if I had to pick, because although I laughed more at the Frank and Boobie one, it also had for me the person that did the worst. And overall, I think these three queens did overall really great, and that consistency really does it for me. So I think this would have been my winning group.
I can agree with you on that because I think they were very much all together and consistent, all very much they played well off of each other. Nobody outshined the other. It was all like, yes, here's your part. This is everybody had a moment to shine, and it was good. I agree. I think Nelenia and her accent with that dumb, I guess, dumb blonde damsel in distress character was it just made it work. Like my favorite part was she was like, "I won't give you my treasure map because I've hidden it somewhere very where no one can find it." And they were like, "Right here in the boobs." It's like, "Oh,
No!
oh no!" I love that. I thought that was so funny to me. And Pathia, this role was just great for her because she was like the yeah, I'm the big bad pirate person, but maybe not as bad, but I'm gonna act like I'm tough. It was really good, and I love that Soa brought her Caribbean roots into this character
Mhm.
because she is Caribbean, and so this made sense for her to have this. And I think everybody did really well, and it was they were everything was consistently funny. Everything was consistently funny. It was no drops. It was no highs, and it was not a high and the drop. It was just like this is just funny across the board. And if this was a skit, if I was looking at all the trailers, I would probably be like, okay, I'm gonna go watch that one first because I think that was gonna be funnier than everything else.
Yeah, this was my favorite group. I think this group was, like you said, Eduardo, very consistent. The comedy was good. They all had a really good rapport. They worked together very well. They all knew what role they were there to do, and they did it very well. Um, I think if I have to pick a favorite from this group, I it's difficult. I think it might have been Soa,
Mm.
honestly. I was entertained by everything Soa did. Her physical comedy was phenomenal. And I just think overall, like the group was just great. It was a great group.
Mm-hmm.
So, and last up we have Jurassic Boobie.
Well, I think overall this might have been my least favorite one out of the three, because I think Queen did an amazing job. Queen was one of the funniest overall, but I also think that with Queen doing so well, it really brought down what Kitty and Alyssa were doing, and just they kind of just were just forgettable in this skit. They were just, I forgot that they were there. I was just hoping to see more of Queen, and just their characters didn't bring anything super interesting to me. It didn't do much for me. I think Queen did amazing, but I think the other two just didn't stack up to what the level that Queen had. So unfortunately, I think both Alyssa and Katie really dropped the ball for me on this challenge. And for me, it was surprising that Katie would drop the ball in this kind of challenge, because this just seems right up her alley. So I was just shocked to see that Katie was just not giving me what I wanted her to give me.
Yeah, I feel like Alyssa and Kitty's character were forgettable characters. Like if it wasn't for Queen, this whole skit would have been forgettable. Uh, I don't have much to say. It was just not that good. I didn't laugh that much. I like Queen though. I thought she was funny. I thought her smushing Alyssa at the end was funny. I loved the whole, But like they said in the workroom, they felt very typecast. This was a very typecast moment. This was very much a typecast moment. We got Queen, who is the bigger queen, being the dinosaur, the big dinosaur. We got Alyssa, who's the old one, being the old lady. It made sense. And then we had Kitty, who was the the paleontologists from another country come over. Yeah, this all made sense. They typecast is like they made this skit just for them, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But all right, that's it. It was alright though. It was not the best.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I'm not mad at Queen's performance. I actually thought Queen was probably one of the stronger people overall. Again, it comes down to physical comedy, and I think she had some of the best physical comedy we saw. So I was really, really happy with what she did. Kitty, I thought was fine, perfectly just fine for me. It's a lot of the same humor that we've seen her use so far this season, so it felt a little stale, but it still wasn't a bad performance by any means of the imagination. Alyssa, I just thought was utterly forgettable and just not good. Just really not good. Oh, at all. Like, yeah. So we move.
Moving on.
But we'll talk about the runways over on Look Over Here. So make sure to check out that episode where we talk about an interestingly named runway category that brought some phenomenal looks.
Yes.
Do we want to talk about our top 3 favorites, though, with the runway?
And Look Over Here.
The runway.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk. Look, we got to give them something to come to Look Over Here for. Y'all not gonna get our thoughts over here.
That's valid. I did think it was a good runway, a great runway overall.
It was.
Yeah,
it was a good runway.
Some amazing looks, and
we'll give you
one of those wigs. Damn.
All I'm saying is we're excited to talk about it, and you got to go over to Look Over Here to hear about it. So check that out.
But they do the results. Untucked happens, and it's kind of just emotional.
Yeah.
And Eva's talking about how she flew 30 hours to not give her all, and she's disappointed in her performance.
So it's just kind of upset that she's not showing, like, that they're not seeing her best, I think. Like, she's still happy that they're seeing her, they're giving her good critiques, but just not really just featuring her that much.
No.
Which is
because she
really
honestly
upsetting.
should have been to the top.
I agree. We will. I was waiting until we talked about like who won and who was in the bottom to really.
We'll talk about it.
But yeah,
I guess we can just go there because that's really honestly.
That's what we are.
It's not super major. So
no.
Our top 3 ends up being the Jurassic Boobie team, which I fundamentally disagree with every fiber of my being.
Every fiber of my being.
And so I called it out. Out.
Oh, did y'all see the video on Twitter where it's cutting to everyone else in the groups, and they're all just like,
confused. Like, okay, sure.
So good.
I mean, it's so weird because there is no way in no universe can you convince me that was the best skit. There is no are we watching the same program right now? What is happening? How do you get mediocrity at its finest? And then you get people who are consistent and funnier. Even the group that had the person who did the weakest overall was funnier than this one. In what world do you sit there and say that wins, the rest of y'all are not safe? What? How? I've seen middle school plays better than Jurassic Boobies. Middle school plays.
Yeah,
better than that.
I think I've seen 12-year-olds do a better performance than what Alyssa and Kitty brought to this skit.
Yeah,
I've seen better physical comedy out of actors that
paper bag.
Like it. Yeah. So
community.
I was really confused as to specifically Alyssa and Kitty. I think Queen, like if you were gonna do Queen, made sense for me. Queen, I do think, was one of the better ones overall. And so I was not upset that Queen was in the top, but I was confused as to why she was in the top if we were judging by the skits in like groups.
Right.
Because
If we're judging
then,
it by groups or individually, like I don't think I would have. So for me, I'll say my top three. If we're not judging by teams, I think my
Mhm.
top three. I would have had Queen still
Yes.
in my top
Mhm.
three.
Yes.
My top three would have been Queen, Soa, and probably Pythia. I think that would be my top three.
we have a
Honorable
pretty close
mention
separate.
again. Honorable mention again this week to Tessa Testicle because I do think Tessa did a great job this week as well. And Vanity. I'm gonna put Vanity in there too.
I'm gonna say I think my top three would have been Queen, Vanity, and probably Tessa. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, I'll take that.
That's
Fair.
I think Queen, Vanity, and Tessa were. I think Pythia and Nalinia and Soa were good, but just that they rode that line of safe good. You know what I mean? Like they
Sure.
were good. They were safely good. They were perfectly fine. I enjoyed it enough. But I laughed more with Queen, Vanity, and Tessa. Like they
That's
actually
fair.
made me laugh.
That's very fair. And if I was judging it not in groups,
Mm-hmm.
I would have had Queen. I probably would have had Tessa. And I think I would have wanted to have one from each group. So I think I would have put Soa in the top here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
All fair.
Fair.
All fair.
Yeah. We do end up with Queen Kong getting the win here, which I'm not
Which
mad
I'm
at.
not mad at that.
This
I'm not
was
mad at that.
the best case scenario with what we had.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. I think, and I don't know about y'all, I think my winner probably would have been Soa. I think based on challenge and runway, I think for me, I would have given it to Soa.
Yeah, if I would have judged in groups, which is how it was judged this episode, I would have had Soa's group as my top group, and I would have given the win to Soa.
Yeah.
As well.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have done that too if we were judging groups.
Now, out of your top threes,
out of my
who would y'all
top
pick?
three, it probably would have been Queen with that in the runway, with the thing in the runway.
Yeah, I think overall, Queen did what
This is a good
maybe
week.
the best one.
This is a
And
great
so
week
I
for
do agree
Queen.
with her winning, but I just think the
It shouldn't have been
circumstances
teams.
were
It
odd.
shouldn't have been teams. It shouldn't have been teams.
Yeah, I think the judging of the teams was odd because Queen did deserve this win and this top placement. I just don't think that the other two really did.
They rode the
Fair enough.
they rode the coattails of Queen and was safe because of it, and it's not fair.
Yeah. And we end up with a bottom two of Gala and Eva.
This was the worst case scenario.
They literally put Gala in the bottom because of her runway, even though her runway was one of the best ones of the night.
Fully. What was going on?
Like,
they couldn't see the vision. They couldn't see the vision.
Losing
And
my
I'm
mind.
I was like, what? Why though? Because you literally just said her performance was good. Like you just said her performance was good. But now you don't get the vision of her runway. And so that brought her to the bottom. Okay. All right. But
because let's be real and honest and genuine here, the bottom two should have been Eva and Alyssa.
Absolutely.
I would have been okay with that.
It should have been.
Okay with that.
I mean,
Eva and Alyssa.
Love Eva down, but her performance was not
Eva
good.
Down.
Her performance
it's
wasn't
the same
good.
with Miranda last week. Love Miranda down. She should have been in the bottom two. Love Eva down. She should have been in the bottom two.
Yes.
But
I don't like saying that because I love Eva dearly,
but oof.
And they get an interesting lip sync song choice. We're doing "Take on Me" by Aha. I just don't think it. I think it works for a lip sync in general.
Yeah.
I just don't think it works as a lip sync for your life. I don't
think it works as a lip sync for your life in a global stance. Like if you did this in like US, Australia, UK, sure.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, and it was done as part of a finale number by someone on a US season.
Right.
Yes.
And that's and I think that's a perfectly fine place to do this song. For a global where English is not everyone's first language, where you're going to do this song, I just felt
Yeah.
like this song, it kind of lacked just a little bit of.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then you have Gala and Eva in this lip sync,
Mhm.
and this ain't in neither one of their wheelhouses. Like,
That's what I was gonna bring
neither
up.
one.
You
And
stole
it's
the words
just,
out of my mouth. Yeah, I was
it's
gonna
just
bring it up.
not. And it just felt like they were trying to play catch up to,
Yeah.
I got to play catch up to find this song, to feel this song. Because
Yeah.
I don't do this song. This ain't the kind of music we do in Mexico and in the Philippines. And we're not trying to, I don't
It's a
know
peculiar choice,
it's
and
a
I appreciate the diversity in lip sync song choices we've gotten so far this season. Like, I will say that much. I do hope we see more with other languages. I'm hoping
Yes.
for that. We got one, and it's because Donna was there.
Yeah, and even then,
But
the
even
song
then,
was
that's a song
mostly in
that's
English.
mostly English.
It's
Yeah, I was gonna
English,
say that
right.
song is mostly English. Unfortunately for Eva, I think it was a very, very clear win for Gala, even though I have to say, I think this is my least favorite Galavado lip sync I've ever
Absolutely.
seen.
Well,
It really
yeah,
was.
but this is
Yeah.
because this is not anywhere near Gala's like wheelhouse. So this is
I
just
told
an
everyone
odd choice for it.
because everyone I watched with was like, "Oh, Gala's really not a good performer," and I was like, "I promise you, she is. I
Mm-mm.
promise you, she's a great performer.
She is so
This
much
is
better
just
than
not her
that.
song." But I
Yeah.
promise you, watch that lip sync with her and Argenis. Period.
Ugh, yes.
Girl.
Period.
Yeah.
Look,
Period.
I didn't know what they were saying, but I enjoyed it that much. I didn't even care.
Like,
It was so good.
baby, but
Yeah.
So good.
But yeah, Gala just had that charisma for me and really
Eva
just
didn't do bad.
stole.
She didn't
No,
do
she
bad.
didn't. She
Didn't
did
do
it, but I
bad.
think she was focusing a lot on the reveals. And I
Yeah.
think that kind of took it out of like her
Yeah.
really just putting her all into just performing it. And Gala just didn't have to take anything off. She didn't have to reveal anything. She just performed and had incredible charisma. And so this was already a tough one for Eva. And then her just really focusing on the reveals just kind of sealed her fate, sadly.
Eva was in her head. Eva was in her head even back in the workroom doing Untucked moments. She
Yeah.
was in her head. She was just like she wanted to do good. She was trying to do good. She was focused on I need to do good. I need to do good. I need to do good. That she couldn't just feel the music and perform. And that's what cost her. I think her reveals were good, but she was so focused on that. I think what she was doing was fine, but she was so focused on I need to make sure I'm doing all right. It just didn't feel natural. It just felt forced. And that was the bad thing about it. But she didn't do horrible. And we love Miss Eva La Queen. I think she has shown that she's an amazing queen and she can do amazing things. This just wasn't her moment. And it's okay. It's okay. This ain't gonna change nothing. This ain't gonna change the validity of how good she really is and how amazing she is. She's gonna go back to Philippines and still be booked and still be busy and still be working and still be being Eva La Queen, period. So
Yeah.
I love that for her.
The duplicities on Drag Race this week, because we had Gala lip syncing for her life while her daughter was lip syncing for the crown.
Right.
And then we got Eva in the bottom and her daughter in the bottom too.
Wow.
Thankfully, they didn't both have to lip sync in 1 week. That would have been oof.
Yeah.
But we love Eva. I love Eva dearly. I'm going to speak on behalf of David because he couldn't be here today. I know we all love Eva.
Absolutely.
And I'm devastated. Unfortunately, this just wasn't her moment. I do hope that there is the potential to see her again on another season, because I think she is a great drag artist with a lot to give the world. So
yes, I agree.
we love you, Eva.
We love you, Eva. This was just it was a lose-lose situation no matter who went.
100%.
So I was gonna be upset no matter what, and with Eva
Yep.
leaving, it really just breaks my heart.
Yeah. But let's talk about our draft real quick.
Throw it
before
away.
we go.
Throw it
Hey,
away.
hey, Eduardo. Hey, guess what?
Hey.
We're tied for last.
Wow, shocking. I had both of the bottom two this episode. I'm not shocked.
Well, I'm happy that at least I've popped up a little bit because I was dead last. But yeah, Eduardo and I are tied for last with 33 points. River, with having Kitty on her team, is in third with 33.5 points. Dawn is currently in second with 38, and Robbie is currently leading the draft with 43, which tracks because the two people in the lead are people that have not popped on for this podcast this season.
Really.
You know, I'm gonna draft and never show up. Maybe that will increase my draft placements in these drafts that we do. I'm gonna draft and I'm never gonna show up.
All right.
We're gonna
That's
see what
fair.
happens. We'll see what
That's fair.
happens. We'll see what
Cool.
happens.
And next week we have another design challenge. I am
Mhm.
excited to see another design challenge.
Yes.
We're making cocktail dresses.
Work.
Odd choice, but sure.
Work.
Weird flex, but all right. Cool.
Mhm. Fully.
Party. Well, that is that. We're gonna go talk about some looks over on Look Over Here, but thank you for joining us for this recap of Global, where we talked shit about this episode a lot. And
Yes.
also praise the girls when we needed to. So make sure to subscribe, like, and share on the way out. Thank you for joining. Make sure to check the description where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, our Patreon, our social media, and where you can get your merch, including but not limited to cup mug. And with that, we're gonna get out of here. So cheers.
Cheers.
Adios.
I'm sad.
I'm also really sad.
Me too.
We
Peace
love
out.
you, Eva. God damn it.
Dang it.